and welcome to Critical Tumble, where a bunch of longtime friends and internet nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and try to distract ourselves from the existential angst of our real existence to do whole different kinds of existential angst in the fake one. Previously, the Cupcake Coterie took down a white dragon, which was good on them. The fight was a little problematic, but they made it through. No significant injuries, no casualties. We were good. We were good. I think mostly it's that you lucked out that didn't really recharge its breath weapon very, very much. One time my dice actually rolled low. Huzzah. Thing is that currently they have a pit in Gray's Inn full of black sludge, which they have to do something about. So they went to try to find something that their various connections to the gods flagged up existed, some kind of almost music box-ish arcane thing that is got to be in there somewhere. Unfortunately, in there was not just Gray's Inn, the inn/government building, but a subterranean ancient drow city that's had people murdered and /or gooed in it at least twice. Which was a particular bit of fun for all concerned when it turned out that the ooze, being somewhat more subtle this time around, decided to go pulling people into various pocket dimensions where they were cut off from their connection to their various deities and had their memories sort of ruffled through like, frankly, like the player's handbook, to try to find new and interesting things to corrupt. Kind of like me and just about any D&D supplement, just, ooh, that looks interesting. Or, oh, I already have something like that. There was a certain amount of mental fuckery with all concerned, because obviously this is getting into some fairly nasty imagery for a lot of people, particularly poor Clarity, who had a whole bunch of suppressed memories that got dug up, but she did at least manage to get Henry's soul not being trapped in and amongst the ick anymore. So, sad, but at the very least, it's a better end than he would have had if you hadn't been in there, put it that way. Barnabas, of course, had the issue of they started with his memories and wound up in Ravnica. Barnabas is not forgiving anybody for that, from the looks of things. No, Barnabas, he mad. I shouldn't laugh, but, I'm here to get a reaction. And when I get it, glee. Yeah, unfortunately, I did nasties to myself as well at this point, because when I did the cut off from your deities thing, Alice didn't know that. Alice is kind of is down to the very core of her, and that they were gonna have to do something about that. Hazel found out some interesting things, assuming that that all is moderately trustworthy as far as that goes. And to be fair, you honestly think it was, because that was the one thing that wasn't sort of going na 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 at you.
Dimensional fuckery is dimensional fuckery. I'm just mad.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of angry, sad and frustrated people right now. At least part of which is because they currently have an unconscious Ava, who got separated from Clarity in the ruins of Vanadar Manor. You've seen this now. I know you've seen this now, so you know where to go with me on this one, because we had to do something. So this is what we're doing now. So yes, we're dealing with that. Ava, kind of, Yeah, going straight for the exit is one thing, but you'd never actually seen what happened to this place. And it's really hard to resist just looking around and seeing what the hell happened.
Mm.
Finding your parents, for one thing. You never really knew how they died. You just know they must have done. Probably because Ianthe told you. In that na kind of way, just before you threw yourself into a fight with somebody you couldn't technically take. And it's not very long before you realize you've lost clarity entirely. And
Nerd.
yeah, you got nothing. What you do have, however, is the corridor leading to your bedroom.
Slowly walk towards it.
Yeah, it's the same old corridor, and funnily not looking particularly destroyed. It looked a lot more destroyed when you ran through it the last time.
Just put my hand on the door.
It is a door. It is latched, but it is not locked.
Look, another check for clarity.
Nope.
Nowhere to go but forward. Push the door up.
The room is... Okay, it's not strictly speaking tidy. You have not been the most tidy individual in the world. In fact, you kind of recognize this specific untidy because it's a few of your fancier dresses kind of scattered around the place because you were trying to pick one for this stupid ball that you were supposed to be having. And standing by your wardrobe, so digging around and seeing if there's anything else suitable, is, as far as you can tell, Elfina. As you knew her, Elfina. This sort of turns in your general direction.
Does she look like? Well, does she look like?
She
Elfina?
she looks like the helpmeet friend and lady's maid you had for a few years. They're currently just watching you.
She's kind of thrown because.
Yeah, I gathered that, but she's still watching you.
Why are you looking through my wardrobe?
This particular memory was trying to pick a dress that did not make you look like a meringue. That was kind of impossible given the fashions of this particular year. But you still had me try. You're really not very good at this, are you?
Mother was always better at it.
Oh, no, I didn't mean the fashion. I meant the sisters.
Oh. Still learning, I guess.
Taking an awful long time of it. You didn't notice that one sister wasn't. And you kind of let the other one get taken off to particular nastiness. You're really kind of bad at this. I wonder if it's ever occurred to you that maybe if you'd behaved differently, then maybe things could have turned around a little bit. I didn't have to call in the Crown's Guard.
Of course I've thought those things. More time than you can probably think.
Well, Yes, at least part of this is an echo of you. So, yes, I know, but you haven't thought about it particularly seriously. Or at least you tried to shove it into a corner while you've been doing other things. We did not hear that.
I mean, kind of hard to just sit around thinking about what I should have done when this.
Did I say you should? It's more how what you think determines your actions. And in the end, what is important to you is what is important specifically to you. Your dresses, your party, your name.
I'm not sure I follow.
I'm pretty sure it's just that you don't want to, but okay. Let's get a little more insulting then, shall we? You selfish. You weren't paying attention to anything I was really saying or doing. Or you might have noticed something off. Because you were... Selfish isn't the word. Self-absorbed. That's the word. And... well... slight gesture and the room changes. Currently it is... the throne room in the Elven Wild. And it looks horrible. The great pillars are wrapped around with thick, oozing vines of the black gunk. There are bodies. Most of them are not humanoid in any way, shape, or form.
You don't like anyone look like anything I recognize.
No, this is bits. These were not people at the end. To any degree. And here, all you're asking about is, your name, your heritage, your legacy, and not your sister. And now she looks like Ianthe. The hair is darker. That side of the face that was supposed to be burned, you can see why it wasn't now. Black scales.
You may recall the first question I asked was why was she there? So I don't really see your point.
Yes, you dropped that pretty quickly though, didn't you? Besides, if you've been paying any attention to what was going on around you, you know why she was there. You knew she was a target. You knew she was a much more important target than you, as far as that was concerned. But the minute we mention your name... like I said, you're just really bad at this. Which is good to know, at the end of the day. I mean, the me here, that's not really... I can't really do anything. This version of me, the version of me that lives in your head, apart from reminding you of the fact that you let a lot of things go by the wayside when you laser focus on something that you think is important. The version of me that actually exists out there, on the other hand, I would wager she knows that too, because it doesn't take a genius. There's enough of me that was the Elfina that you claimed to be so chummy with. That's a little sorry that the weak link is identifiable. But there's enough of me that is Yanthe to basically just be going, na 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 na. But I think we're about done. And everything goes black. And it doesn't feel like any time has passed. It's just you blink and you're kind of cold, a little bit soggy, and snowed on, and on the ground.
Do I see anyone else?
These guys. I think you've got one of Darvin's shirts under your head.
Right. Why am I wet?
Yo. Welcome back to the land of the living.
Yeah, what you currently have is a really pissed off looking Barnabas, an even more pissed off looking Hazel, a very concerned looking Remy, Darvin kind of hovering, Farida watching this whole thing like I'm doing this kid is seriously so related to Froseth because watching Clarity, who's clearly been crying, Rylan, who's kind of vibrating out of nervous because that is frankly what Rylan do, and Alice lying not too far away, maybe about half conscious, not visibly hurt, but
Not looking well.
no, not in the least, no. And I believe Remy has brought out the Frostberry vodka, which apparently Alice doesn't want, which is as much an indication that she is not well as anything else.
Everyone alright?
I could lie. Why am I wearing your charm bracelet, Clarity?
Thought it might help.
Thank you. I know who gave it to you. You should have it back. It's a comfort thing for you, if nothing else, and I think you need some of those.
Yeah. She takes it back.
Yeah. Sorry, I'd have taken it off, but I'm not supposed to move, apparently.
Nope. No, you're not.
This is gonna get really old. You okay? I'll take that as a no. I think she requires the booze.
Remy will offer her the booze.
Takes a swig. Thanks.
So does anybody want to start explaining what exactly happened while I can still actually maintain consciousness? Thank you. I mean, Barnabas and things I know, but probably start with the ones that I wasn't with just in case I pass out. Thank you. Legolas, who's sort of hunched up next to her, is just looking agitated and protective.
Darvin looks over at
Feels up to starting.
Darvin looks over at Hazel's expression with like a look of, is it okay if I?
Fire away.
We got shoved or dropped or what have you in a what turned out to be a pocket dimension, cut off from any connection to gods.
Very, very briefly, out of character, the only ill effect you have had from this is that your sleeve tattoo, you've only just got to noticing it. It was probably a little worse before. It's just a little itchy.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah,
but it's fading.
Yeah, so he's like absent-mindedly going, over it. And it was picking through memories and doing things with them, corrupting them. We were in Goldendale outside of the bow, and then walked for a while toward the shrine, and then ended up out front of my manor.
Out of character, you're missing the treehouse. Or the route to the
Yeah.
treehouse. It wasn't the shrine so much, it was the approach to the treehouse that was the problem.
Yeah, right. We were going toward the shrine, but then went toward the treehouse instead. That was
Darvin, stop rubbing that. I know it probably...
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Just be grateful it wasn't worse.
Yeah.
I think yours didn't, only because yours came after the fact.
There were visions of people we care about greatly. Evan, Lyra. Anyway, we did end up eventually. I'm skipping details because, frankly, I don't want to think about it. There was the manor, and we went into the manor. But then when we went into the manor,
No, you didn't go into the manor. Well, you started to go into the manor, but
sorry. But when we went to go into the manor, it wasn't the manor. Once you crossed the threshold of the door, it was a dungeon. I'm not sure where. I'm assuming the Elven Wilds, Hazel.
Either the Elven Wild or Black Crown. Hazel, your why is not intelligent. They wouldn't have kept that close if they could avoid it. Yes, that's why I'm telling Hazel. So you've got Darvin going a dungeon in, I don't know, the Elven Wild.
Yeah.
And looking at
Yes.
I
Hazel as if for
don't know.
confirmation.
We'll find out later.
Okay. And that was there was a person in there that well, Hazel, I don't know how much you want me saying
Maybe Hazel should say
about
it.
that part.
Convey
So
what you heard. Whether or not that explains everything, we'll figure out once you're done.
Or Hazel, you
Well-
could just say it. That way you get to control the information.
yeah, would thank you.
Yeah, okay, fine. So, as far as we could tell, based on who that person in the dungeon was, the woman who was purportedly my mother wasn't.
Rylan, make me a...
The one who was usurped and stuffed in a hole somewhere.
Yeah, can you make me a history check, please?
Rylan.
Yes, Rylan. Rylan
Sorry,
would
when
be the
you-
only
yeah.
one who would have this as a potential
Sorry, when-
thing you would have heard.
Yeah, when you said the name at first, it
Yeah.
only caught the
Yeah, it
last
cut
syllable.
off, so that's why.
Yeah, I mean, you're older than these people by a fair bit. Just because you are an elf. You had heard that some of the one set of the high muckamucks in the high elf bit of it, the Elven Wild, were twins. Emma Vela and Astra. You don't really know what happened to Astra, but people stopped talking about her about 18 years ago. Something like that.
Astra.
Well, technically, given that's again not a bad roll, the that would mean that Hazel's mother is Lady Emavela. It's just that the one that is supposed to be the Lady Emavela is this Astra person. Because if If
my
that
God.
woman is trying to be Hazel's mother, she'd have to take the name of the one that
Take
was
the name
known
of-
to be pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, things make a lot more sense.
What do you
High
mean?
elven fuckery. There were a pair of twins. Astra, the twin of Lady Elmavera,
Emma Vela.
Emma Vela,
Thank you.
pronunciation.
It's a tricky one, I know, I'm sorry.
Astra took over the lady's name, while the lady herself is apparently your knife-eared bitch.
So you're telling
Wait.
me that this Astra...
You idiot!
What? Why are you calling them an idiot?
I understood what was actually happening, and I'm usually the clueless one.
Sorry, I'm losing track of who the idiot is here now.
Yeah,
No, Hazel calling Rylan an idiot for the
Yes, no,
turning
that...
around of who's the knife-eared bitch.
Oh, God.
Oh!
Hazel,
Hazel, no.
there...
I
It's a complicated situation, Hazel.
I think that was more of a misspeak.
That's fine.
It just
So-
means that the Lady Emma Vela was supposed to be a nice lady, but Astra, waited until she
Took her.
was fairly pregnant, locked her up somewhere, took over her name.
and her place as your matriarch.
Hmm.
At least we've got history to
Just
back it
ruined
up.
the laws of hospitality. She ruined the basis of family. She doesn't get to keep her head.
Okay. I mean,
Okay.
agreed.
I can't stop you.
I don't think any of us are. But anyway, that's what we dealt with. And we went through what have you.
People stopped mentioning the twins and Astra's name entirely right probably around the time you would have been either, well, not you, but you, Hazel, you mentioned you have younger siblings?
No, that they're all
Or am I
adopted.
misremembering something?
You are
Above all.
out of character. Out of character. You are misremembering. Hazel is biologically, as far as anyone is aware, an only child. But 18 years ago would have been just around the time Hazel was born. Hazel is not very old.
That's what I was misremembering. Hazel is younger than I remember. Got it.
And I think technically she just had her. She just had her 19th birthday before you joined the party.
Mm-hmm.
So probably closer to 19 years ago, but a year here or there. It's particularly for you, where you're looking at lifespan in centuries. It's
Which would have happened probably right around when you were born, Hazel.
and out of character that matches up to what the woman in the dungeon said, that she was locked up a month or so before she had you.
So, anybody else?
You okay, Clarity? You look upset.
Um, it. You could say I had quite an experience. So I went through that passageway that you had described to me. That secret door, and instead of leaving to the outside, I was in a cupboard. And I remember the cupboard when I was small. It was from my home with my parents before the Thatchers, before anything like that. I didn't remember, or I didn't think I remembered what had happened to my parents. But that black shit, it dug it up, and I left the cupboard and found everything in disarray and ransacked. And in the front room, my parents, dead, and my father hanging from the ceiling, and my mother impaled on the wall. I must have seen it and just made myself forget. My father was a human, and my mother was a tiefling like me.
Alisai is giving Hazel very much a, I would hug her, but I can't move. If you do not hug her, I will find a way to slap you.
Already headed over while Clarity was talking and just kind of pulled her into a hug.
I'll just squeeze her hand.
Clarity just sort of clutches at Hazel a little bit and goes, I don't really know what to do with all of that.
Can I?
Nothing really happened with that. It was just like I saw it, and the corruption was just there to bring it up.
There is something that the corruption didn't think you might get from this that might help. They hid you to save you. I remember Froseth used to say that, probably still does, that he didn't know why his parents abandoned him. And when he found out, at least he knew that it wasn't because he was unwanted. It was because he was loved enough to be protected. But I'm sorry you had to see that.
I know that. I knew it too. The only thing I knew of them was that someone had told me to hide and not come back out until someone came and got me. No one did, but I knew someone didn't just up and leave. Anyway, I went through the door at the end of the front room, and I couldn't see anything, but I heard Henry's voice. And we talked for just a moment, but everything seemed so rushed. I didn't know where you were, Ava. I didn't know where anybody else was. I knew I needed to get out, and
I'm sorry I left you all alone.
no, I mean, not your fault. And he needed to leave, and he told me that my patron had found him, one of her spearmen, and did it for him, like I had asked. And she must have either gotten to him before he was corrupted or cleansed him somehow, but he was him. I could feel it. He sounded like himself. So, I put him in my lollipop. The one that I was saving for him. It was supposed to be an Ormus present, but I guess...
It kind of was.
Yeah.
I can tell you from personal experience that wherever he wound up, I'm pretty sure I know where he wound up, it's a hell of a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want him to be suffering anymore. I wished I had more time with him.
You should have.
You'll get a bit. I'll find a way to make sure of that.
Yeah,
You'll get to see the place, and you'll get time with the Stone of Farewell. You'll get your time one way or another. Making sure of that.
There's nothing we can do without a body, is there?
None of us. No.
Not us, but...
That's the thing, though. We ask a lot of the gods. And that's, I think, the only reason they do it for us is because they want us to do things. Clarity, you're already beholden. And you're not much on the gods. Besides, we don't even know if it saw him again in the living, whether it'd be able to track him again. It's probably possible, but it might be dangerous.
At the very least, not yet, if anything.
Maybe if we save the world.
Yeah. When?
There is a difference. It depends on how we save the world.
Okay, I see. Sorry.
Besides, this shit is everywhere. And most of us have a fairly limited lifespan. I understand, and I laud the positive attitude. False hope isn't a good thing either.
Understood.
Sorry, Clarity. I'm supposed to be the common sense.
Just... I watched for a few days that we helped those people back at the Sullivan plantation, and they were,
That was us.
Though. I know.
Sorry.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't seem
fair.
Unfair. It's just, he was so young when he was taken, and he spent too much time just suffering, and he deserved better than that.
You did.
And it's not that those people don't deserve to be alive. They do, but so did Henry.
Yeah. I'm just going to continue hugging.
Just keep squeezing at him.
Anyway, that's what happened. Just I went through. I found myself at the Thatcher's house after picking up Henry, and the Thatcher's house was covered in the sludge, and I was promised that when I went through my bedroom door that I would be back in the real world, and there I was. And I heard Remy yelling, and that's where you found me. Someone else needs to start talking, because this is too awkward and I can't handle it right now.
I suppose I should try and get mine out of the way.
Barnabas, Ava.
She's trying, Hazel. This is
Yeah.
hard for everyone.
I was still in.
You're faint, Ava. There you go.
I was still in the Vanadar home. Saw some of what I didn't see when I first left, since obviously I was outside by then. Found myself in my old room. Ran into Alvina, as she was as I initially knew her. And, well, let's just say she pointed out some uncomfortable truths. Such as my being too focused on myself and never paying attention to things around me. And not seeing one sister for who she really was, and leaving one to be taken into near. I don't even know what. Don't even want to think of what happened then. And can't help but thinking she had a point. And then I was just back here with you guys.
I'll start ours with a question. Where the fuck were we?
Ravnica.
Excuse me.
The black shit pulled home out of my head.
Oh.
And once again, my just existing puts home in danger again. So it's minor competitive.
Out of
I'm
character.
so sick of it. I'm so sick of it.
Out of character, your existing here doesn't put your home in danger. It's if you go back there.
Well, yes.
Just making sure that you understood that. What you say to everybody else is your business. I'm just making sure that was...
I understand that, and Barnabas understands that. It's just like...
Yeah, like I say, what you say in character, I just... Sometimes I'm not sure, so I clarify.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So... Which means I ever go home, can probably track it. It knows my home now.
If you ever go back, it can follow you.
That's the worry.
Well, it
I mean,
doesn't seem smart enough to.
Keep in mind, it gets its intelligence from everybody.
I'm just tired of home being threatened. Just tired of it. So how do we kill this fucking shit?
We're still trying to figure that one out. We can only do what we can do. And the main one is trying to find that stupid music box so we can at least get it out of here. And Farida is kind of, are you going to be able to move?
How many?
It cut people off from the gods. And not entirely.
You need to rest for a while.
We don't have time for that, Ree.
We can keep searching, and I'll stay with you, or I suppose you'll insist Legolas keeps watch for you, but you need to stay right where you are.
I don't think that's going to help in the short term, Ree.
Moving around is not going to help you either.
Remy, think about it. Partly celestial. Cut off from that. I will bet money there's a crack in her soul. I don't think just resting is going to solve that.
Well, we can't teleport back to Jenna at Goldendale until we fix this.
I think you meant Lyra, but I take your...
Lyra.
You're stressed. I get it. But at the same time, do you really want to... I guess you don't want to, but even if you stayed behind, there's a pit of that black shit, like right over there. And I'm basically a standing target. So either I go. I don't really know what happens if I do that, but I can try. Or I stay and there's almost nothing. If this thing wants me, it can more or less grab me, can't it?
We could use the door portal and send you to Hearthhome.
I am not leaving you.
LSA.
I don't think it's wise to risk that with that stuff near us.
Yeah, we're not splitting up.
No.
It's as simple as that. There's no two ways about it.
Besides,
You both are stubborn. Both are stubborn.
Besides,
and you're more
if-
stubborn than the gods.
if I go there, remember I'm my primary target. If I go there with the kids, with whatever shit's happening in the Elven Wild, oh.
Let's start with searching.
We'll take an hour. We'll think of something. If somebody doesn't wake me up in an hour, I'm going to be very pissed. Womp.
Okay.
I volunteer as tribute for her getting mad for sleeping longer than an hour.
No.
No.
The sooner we begin searching, the sooner we get out of here, the sooner we might conceivably be in a position to be able to rest for an extended period.
From the flitty bag, little claw. Couldn't we ask her dad if there's anything he can do?
Just looks over at Remy.
Yeah, Farad is doing the same.
Just whips his head. Darwin just whips his head around at Remy, just like,
What?
Brilliant idea.
Remy
Like,
hears some
Yeah,
adorable
yeah.
squeaking and then looks at Darvin, staring
The
at her.
dragon has a point.
Flitty suggested you.
No,
talk to,
that was draconic, so Rylan didn't understand that. That was
Yeah,
Faraday.
Flitty was suggesting you talk to Zuriel and see if
Right.
there's anything he could do.
But wouldn't he count as part of what was cut off from?
He's
Well,
not
that's
cut
the
off
point.
anymore. We just not sure what the after effect is
Wait.
on her.
I think this. I listened to the Lyra lady a lot.
I'm translating.
She's her, and there's bits of celestial in, and it's like putting through the strainer thingy. So it tried pushing through and taking all the good bits out, but they're attached, so they hung on. So I bet what more happened is not cutting, but tearing, like when you tear a muscle.
Ah.
Yeah.
And so the Hazel lady's probably right. There's probably cracks or something, but
Sprayed threads.
they're not.
Darvin does that.
It's not all the way gone. And besides, the Ziriel Solar is his own thing. Because the Remy lady has her connection back, right? The Remy lady has her connection back?
Do your sword. Can you?
Yes, you can summon the sword.
Yes. She
See?
sounds sort.
Okay, so
By the try.
Demonstratively, you have access back, so try contacting.
I will.
Now.
okay. We literally just.
She doesn't like
There's
an
not gonna be an
audience.
appropriate
Leave her
time,
alone.
Sorry, just okay.
She
You're right, Flitty.
takes
Thank
a
you.
few
Sorry.
steps away.
Yeah, you might. This is probably going to be an extended conversation. Remy knows about these. She might want to sit down for this one.
Yeah, she will.
Because you don't really want to summon Ziriel within any proximity to this black shit.
You're taking a few steps away for privacy and away from that.
Yes. Just saying that you probably don't want him in anywhere in the same vicinity at all. So this is going to have to be a conversation in the celestial plane.
While that's happening, Ava's just sitting, like, with her arms around her knees, mulling back on what the memories said.
Darvin's probably still sitting. Was sitting very close while she was passed out. He's probably still there, so she's probably either he's leaning on her a little bit or vice versa. I'm not sure which, depending.
Probably both.
Probably both, yeah.
And Flitty, meanwhile, is looking between Rylan and Barnabas. And then peeps in Sylvan for Rylan. I think he needs his emotional support fairy dragon a little bit more. So I'm going to go and sit on the bull man.
Go sit on the bull man.
Flitty out of the bag and on the shoulder, because the neck's a bit thick to actually wrap around. So it's a boop, nuzzle,
It is the most adorable
nuzzle,
little thing.
nuzzle. You don't know why. You've just got nuzzle.
No.
Oh. Thank you.
Flitty has determined that you need it a little bit more than I do at the moment.
I am the
I'm
emotional
not gonna
support
argue.
fairy dragon. Boom.
Emotional support fairy dragon, as Flitty just put it.
I'm not gonna argue with it. That's for sure.
Having seen what Flitty can do and Flitty needs to, good idea. Don't argue with Flitty. Otherwise, you get glitter bombed to the face.
I'm not going to make
well,
somebody
yes.
giggly just because they're sad. I'm not like the other elfie man who threw around emotion calming like it was a snowball.
all you heard was peep, beep, 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 and Darvin is now going, "Ruzzer, fuzzer, 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 fuzzer."
Do I want to know? If I don't, it's cool. You don't have to say it. Explain, but
You should tell
People
him it's
using-
funny.
Previous traveling companion used a spell by the name of emotion calming, forgetting that it was it affected an area around them and hit a number of us without consent.
Hmm.
Warning, for that matter.
Sorry, what, Hazel?
Or warning, for that matter.
Yeah, or warning either. And, yeah,
Continuing
so-
to hug Clarity.
It was just oh yeah, that.
The bull man
Well-
and the shadow elfie, they handle things a lot better than the other elfie men.
Yeah, Flitty is saying, and I agree wholeheartedly. You two handle things a lot better than he did.
Well, that's not exact. If he's throwing that around, it's not exactly a ha ba, is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
but still,
He mostly used it
I mean,
on him.
back home, that sort of thing will get you 6 months in the slammer just because it's only emotion calming. Anything worse than that without consent, and it goes up from there.
And
Wow, y'all actually.
And
Man.
Flitty flags up. Also, keep in mind that most of the time he was using it on himself because he couldn't cope emotionally. I couldn't even help, but he didn't even try to let me help. I snoogled, and he didn't care.
Liddy tried mightily to assist, to help. There was much snoogling, as Flitty put it, just now. That's an amazing word. I'm going to use that if you don't mind, Flitty.
So, wait, they would use it on themselves?
Yes. They would use that spell on themselves. However, forgetting at sometimes, or at least this time, that we were not far enough away. So yeah, I'm still. It doesn't exactly say great things about a person's ability to cope with life, that they require such an external. I mean, if it's extreme, if it's a big thing, or you're under effect of something else, okay, I get it. But just because you're having a rough time, you two, much better. Much better. Much better.
Well, thank you. But, I don't know. Do y'all not have therapists around here? Is that not...
The hell is a therapist?
They probably
So
have
that-
him in Eggref.
So
They probably have them. Yeah, good point. They probably have them in Eggref.
But mostly, if you're having stressies, you talk to a cleric.
But yeah, mostly clerics,
Huh.
I guess.
Clerics are wise.
I'm whistling.
Talk to the wise ones.
Well, once I get another way, things are different at home from here. Absentmindedly just starts giving Flitty some more scritches.
I guess we want to. Do we want to? I don't know if anybody else wants to describe things, but or wait until. I'm just going to shut up.
Well, no.
Anybody else got anything
Mr.
they want to
Barney,
add about?
We're trying to distract so that the Remy lady has some privacy.
Right. Oh, distract. Oh, I can distract.
You just can't distract the Remy lady.
Oh, okay. So, crud. That's a fine line. Okay. But he was saying that we're basically just trying to, distracting, and I'm sitting here thinking, I can be distracting, and then, wait, I can't be too distracting because if
We're
I'm too
trying
distracting,
to
I'll
cheer
disturb
people
Remy.
up.
And so I have to find that fine line between distracting everything and not. And, whew, y'all know me. Good lords. And then he pressed into dictation a couple of just little fireworks like
Yeah, have some of your vodka.
Wait.
Share that around one more time.
Yes, it's been
Note
passed.
yourself,
It's been
don't
passed to Hazel.
Breathe in right afterwards. Ooh, fumes.
Yeah. It's basically a frostberry in that vodka cold burn right up your nose.
Shot for me, shot for clarity at least once.
Clarity refuses.
And just quietly deposit
Probably
one of
Probably
them
Barnabas
in
next, because
Ryland's hand, in Ryland's or Barnabas's hands to whoever's closer in proximity.
I think I got ice crystals in my
And
nose.
take the one with the
no.
shot
To be
and take
fair,
the remaining shot for
vodka has a much lower freezing point. It's just cold.
Yeah, it's alcohol.
It's very strong alcohol.
Basically ethyl.
with frostberry flavored ethyl.
That's some good stuff right there.
Sorry, I heard frostberry flavored ethyl, and my first thought was that's got to be somebody's nickname somewhere.
Probably at prayers to Sune.
Yeah.
Oh lords.
Okay, since this is gonna take longer than like the not quite 10 minutes, we'll take break a little bit early and then put Noms out of Remy's misery or vice versa. So well, you know, it's asking another favor of the in-laws. It's gonna be a thing. I have plans.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
See you in a few minutes. And we're back with most of the Cupcake Coterie attempting emotional support via fairy dragon snoogles and Darwin walking the very fine line between fool and idiot. You know, it's the B. Dylan Thomas thing. I'm a fool, not an idiot. Then again, that was talking about folding a fully constructed pie shell into pie ingredients. Yes, it was. It really was just mix all the ingredients except the pie crust. Were you really worried I was going to mix a fully constructed pie shell into this? I'm a fool, not an idiot. It's like Darwin saying I'm crazy, not stupid. Yes. While all this is going on, Remy is sitting in a meditative prayer position and trying to block out that.
Remy takes a deep breath. Zerio.
And you close your eyes for a second and open them, and you're back on that, in that meadow overlooking the cliff. And two individuals with you, one probably not going to be of any kind of response than the other. Ziriel is there. Because LSA passed out a couple of minutes ago, so is she, but not particularly with it, because this is your souls here in this place. And you're fine. She is broken. If you'd ever wondered what she might have looked like if she hadn't had wings when she got pitched off that airship tower, now you know. Bits of her are just plain shattered. It is a mess. Ziriel looks in your general direction, and I'm fairly
Remy's
sure
looking at her.
Yeah, I was fairly sure you didn't want to see this, but things are as they are.
That's worse than I thought.
It tried to keep the divine out. The divine runs through her, What did you think was going to happen to her soul?
No, I didn't understand the whole picture. No. What can we do?
I can make some repairs, but it will change things, and there will be a cost. She could technically survive like this, but she would be in pain for the rest of her natural life.
That's not acceptable. We have to do something.
If you want me to intercede in this, yes, you do have to do something. Two somethings, in fact. This one cannot be a gift. Two things. The first, once you have dealt with Black Crown, before you proceed with the rest of your missions, you will take them and free the Protector Azamar. They will be needed, and it cannot be delayed. Much more. You can deal with Baronsvere first, but that's the first. The second is that you will have to make a choice. This will change things. I can direct to a point how. She is in no shape to tell me. So whatever the consequences are, however she feels about what has changed, that will be down to your choice, and you will make sure she knows it.
What exactly do I need to choose?
The repairs here will involve more of that spark within her. It's the only way we can patch this up. She has made many changes to who she is at the core. She has focused strength, finesse, and magic. I can tilt my efforts towards one of the three. Whichever you choose will change the core of her. Not personality, but abilities.
Will she still be able to fight with only one?
No. You don't
I know
understand.
she'll want to.
You don't understand. Yes, she will still be able to fight. The things she has learned as a bard will not go away. But she began as a herald of the storm. I think I can probably allow her to keep the cold resistance. Probably. But there won't be room for the tundra anymore. And if you choose finesse or magic, there won't be room for the rage. But any one of the three will still enable her to fight. Yes, that was the point. It will just be fighting in a different method. A different kind of strength. More along the lines of finesse, as she's been battle dancing through things lately. Or the magic she's begun to use. All three of those can be a backing to what she has picked up. The choice is yours. You can make me an intelligence check if you want to. Pray you roll well. Okay, and magic could be anything. Although you do know that there's a certain kind of sorcery that does involve a connection to a god or a godly thing. You know, because Darwin has that. That might be what's meant by magic. Strength, you're really not sure, but it sounds like maybe a different kind of barbarian. You're not really sure. Finesse, either more bard instead of raging or something else. But all three would still enable her to be useful in combat. Although it's not a bad roll. You might consider that magic tends to be a little less resilient in the front line, so you might want to consider getting her some armor if that's what you choose. Finesse depends. Might end up like Froseth was on a similar line and not need it. You don't really know. Okay, make me a wisdom check. Because I know Remy would probably want to go more along the lines of...
Oh no.
Oy.
I mean, she's been getting... Okay, there are certain points at which even with a particularly low roll, there's still shit you know. Yeah, Alisay has been getting more into her magic lately, but she's a frontline fighter first and foremost. If it was gonna be anything, is you're not entirely sure what strength fighting entirely means. And honestly, you're not sure if you're right or not, because, again, that was a pitiful roll. Finesse might be it.
Remy is not being very wise because she's worried that Palisade would not be able to dance without her finesse.
Yeah, that's another thing. Well, to be fair, he did say she'd keep what she's gained.
Yeah,
so.
she was considering asking him.
Well, he did already say that, literally to her face. But
Yeah,
bad wisdom roll, and you're concerned. You've already thrown at least one thing that she really was not expecting, and it changed to her whole style of dealing with things once in the last month, and
yeah, that too.
so it's basically nerves, and while there's arguments for all three, you're just gonna have to figure it out for yourself, because you don't entirely know what she'd want.
I think I would say values your strength most of all.
And you married her?
Out of...
I just wish to be sure that you understand the woman who has raged so much less. She will not get physically weaker if you do not choose strength. This is not what this is about. This is about core ability. Not physical, but those things that you nurture within the soul. The thing that made you paladin. The thing that makes your Hazel cleric. Add a character because the intelligence roll was reasonable. We're looking at the core class, not the stats.
Mm-hmm.
So her strength 3, that stays. No matter what.
She was, it was down to strength and finesse for her. So,
Mm,
so three. That's
but you do, because the hand of fate is moderately kind. You really just do have Ziriel going. You've watched her, you married her, and you think physical strength is what matters most? Really? What?
I mean, her her fierceness, her insistence on protecting people, on fighting for people, on facing down these dangers
Yes,
head on.
she can do that with finesse as well. Do you not recall your now younger friend?
Yes, that is true.
I will give you a few moments. And I will give you one further bit of help. Stay there. Gone for a second, and Hazel, while hugging Clarity, gets in her head the voice of her god. I understand that you are engaged in a matter of clerichood in terms of comfort, as well as other things. But your wisdom is needed elsewhere. Would you meditate a moment?
To make the attempt.
Yeah, and you've probably seen the celestial plane a couple of times in dreams as well, and that is where you are with a half chastened, half frustrated looking Remy and an Alice who is broken.
Oh, gods above, I was right with the whole soul cracking thing.
Hi, Hazel. Zerial. Is he still present, or should I
No,
give him a moment?
giving them a moment.
Zerial said he can heal her. It's just some things are going to be lost with the degree of damage and
Not lost, changed.
changed with the degree of what she's been through and what he's able to do.
I think... no, he's moving now. Did you hear any of that, Smeagol? Because you're hiccuping.
I heard what Nom said. I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, what Nom said is important, because all I said was, did you hear what Nom said?
Essentially asked me to choose for her because she's not conscious, and between her strength, her finesse, and her magic, and that's going to change how she faces down what we've been facing down and what we're going to. And yeah, he also asked me to promise that once Black Crown is resolved, we have to go to Anvir and help the Protector Asimar immediately.
Right?
But right now, to have to decide for how to restore her.
Hazel, you make me a wisdom check. If you're rolling that one, I'm
Say
gonna laugh
again,
so hard.
Tess. You're like really quiet.
Wisdom check, please.
Purely wisdom, or would this qualify as insight?
I'll give you insight, yeah. Yeah,
16.
Alice has not raged much lately. She normally reserves it for a coup de grace if she has to, but mostly she hasn't been using it at all. If strength involves barbarian. That's the one thing that she wouldn't necessarily miss if it went. Or if it changed. For her, it'd be finesse or magic. And that's probably around where you get stuck, because on the one hand, more finesse in the realm of dancing would be great, but she's also been having a hell of a time with her magic lately. She's just been having so much fun with it. So it's one of those two, as far as you've ever been able to tell from her, given how she's changed. If this had been asked like 2 months ago, strength all the way. But Hazel's been changing so much herself that she's noticed that kind of progression in others.
Magic. Yes. When it comes to this, if those are the three choices, discount strength. Just do not count it at all. The choice is binary: finesse or magic.
Finesse.
I would vote magic.
Remy looks back to Alice.
She's not moving.
Yep.
That is not going to be moving.
Oh yeah, I expected that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, given your whole thing was along the physical lines, and you did know that if magic, she's going to lose some of her natural defenses. Finesse probably wouldn't lose her those. Hazel's thinking on it a little differently, is all. And it's valid too, but you're thinking of it from the point of view of you two fighting side by side. She's thinking of whatever she's thinking of. It's Hazel.
Remy considers, and then she looks up.
And Hazel blinks, and she's back next to Clarity. And she didn't move. She just sat and meditated for a minute.
Yep, I
Finesse.
was just kind of, still hugging him the whole time.
Okay, and back in the celestial plane, you've got Ziriel going, I allowed that on the basis that sometimes concern trumps wisdom. But you state finesse.
I do.
Very well. Would you prefer watch here or there?
Here.
Kneels down next to Alice. Puts a hand just there. It's kind of visceral for you what happens next, because this is spiritual bones crunch, stretching out straight and re-knitting. You guys get... She still doesn't seem to be conscious, but she's screaming like a fucking banshee.
Oh, jeez.
What the hell is going on now?
For once,
Don't
Remy is
do
not moving at
anything.
that.
Well, yeah.
This for me, just still wrapped around Clarity. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
What?
Legolas is just...
What?
Is Hazel going to
Wait.
answer Barnabas's what? Apparently not, no.
I didn't hear Barnabas at all.
Yes, Barnabas just went, what?
Yeah,
She's screaming. We're just going to let it happen. What the?
This is everything fixing itself. It's just not at all pleasant.
So this is good.
Yes, essentially. Picture if you had been thrown off of a tall building and all of your bones started piecing themselves back together at once.
No wonder the street screaming. Oh boy.
She's not gonna be happy.
No.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You got it's,
Darwin's just gonna just stay way back.
yeah. Legolas is just nudge, nudge, nudge on Alice, who's not paying any attention to that. And,
Whatever is the end result for legs, that's on legs. I can't interact with them the same way as everyone else can.
well, it doesn't seem to be affecting anything one way or another. At which point, when for Remy, when she looks back in one piece, she kind of fades. She won't be awake for a little while. You might have to take a meal, take a day. Given that you've been so reasonable about this, I'll let the moose keep the wings an extra day, because I know that was part of the concern about the timing. And I want this resolved as soon as possible.
Of course.
This is going to be interesting for all involved. I did just manage to allow her to keep her predominant immunity to cold, but the rage, that is gone. The ice shields, that is gone. She is no longer a herald of the blizzard. And that will become very evident when you see her in the flesh. What she is, because someone will have to tell her. At the core of her now is wisdom, common sense, finesse. There is a school that operates in this. It's not like your Furseth, but it's a similar line. The Way of the Sun Soul. She'll know what to do. But do give her a few minutes before you attempt to wake her up. That was... You'll probably need to reassure some people anyway.
Of course.
Gives a nod, and you blink your eyes open, and these guys are just... And
Remy fumbles and
Probably
runs.
needing next to Alice.
yeah,
Remy runs up, but not necessarily panic running,
Yeah.
but still moving
what
swiftly.
what Alice, what Ava would have seen on Alice is that there is a certain quality of, and her hair is still a white goldish shade, but it's not that sunlight on snow color quite. It's a slightly brighter, slightly just straight up sunbeam kind of a color. She's actually, she's not pale anymore, and in fact, she seems to be slightly more tan than you remember. Apparently, some of the pale of her was something she no longer has.
Remy,
Yeah, and
Everything's okay. Everything's
why?
okay.
Is it me or does she look different? She looks different, right?
Yes.
What does that mean?
She's had her soul pieced back together, and some things have changed, which sounds more dramatic than it is, but it is also kind of dramatic, but not in a bad way.
But she'll be okay?
Yes, we just let her wake up on her own. She's gonna need to rest a while longer.
Yeah.
Also, I promised Serial that once we liberate Black Crown, we immediately have to go to Anbeer to help the Asimar, to protect her
Yeah,
Asimar.
of course.
I guess
Okay.
it's fair.
If it gives look, if it means Alice is okay, then hell yeah, hell's yeah, definitely. Okay. You said we have to wait longer. I hate to ask, but I mean, looking over at toward the pit, how long is the while?
Well, maybe another day, but he said Legolas's wings would not fade for another day.
Oh,
Monk?
okay. Looks up at legs.
Monk.
You get to okay.
Yeah, it trots up to Remy, just the look of, you have not been particularly forthcoming about this, and I want more answers because that is my writer. Monk.
Oh,
No, she very tentatively pats him. She's gonna be okay. I promise.
Yeah, that is.
Clarity extricates herself from Hazel and casts Speak with Animals and goes up cautiously to Legolas. Hi.
What?
Alice says, all right. Her soul was damaged from being in that terrible place, the pocket dimension. Do you know about pocket dimensions? Never mind. She's part god. I'm not explaining this very well. She's got this goddish stuff in her blood.
I
And
know what
got pulled
celestial
out.
beings are. I
Yeah.
don't know why some of the winter smell isn't on her anymore, and why it smells like sun and calm now.
Well, Remy hasn't explained it too well so far.
I know, that's why I'm staring at her.
I know, but Remy, she loves her very much, and she's assured us that these changes to her are make her soul better.
I understand that, but I want to know what they are, and she is going to tell me.
Remy, you need to tell Legolas what the changes are specifically. He's not happy about the vagueness.
Right. She was staring at Legolas, moving very insistently at Clarity, back and forth. Well,
Yeah, and as soon as that's all done, it turns back to you with. I mean, given
Okay.
you're short and this is a dire moose, that's loom.
with a capital Lou.
she has changed, but it's not in a bad way, but she has lost some things that she used to be able to do. She's not going to be able to kind of summon the winter and the tundra like she used to, but she'll still be okay. The next time she visits her home, she won't be freezing like the rest of us. It's just that
Faraday looks a little affronted at that.
but not counting you, Faraday. You
Faraday's just, I understand that you want to not go into too much detail, but it's probably obvious to anyone with eyes that you have it, and we could actually be a really good trial run before you have to explain to her.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. That's a
Yeah,
good point.
you say
It's
she
Cereal?
lost some things, so
Yes. She lost the fighting rage she had and summoning the cold and those sort of things that she learned in the north, but she's gained, Tyrael said, it's a core of wisdom and common sense and finesse, like Froseth, but he called it a way of the sun soul.
Farada's like, so she's part monk now?
Essentially,
Huh.
So, replaced the rage storm with just more sun.
sounds like
A
it.
lot more sun.
It would explain why she's looking a little bit different.
Well, she has not been. I mean, let's face it, she is the most sensible out of all of us. Has been for some time, has been since Jump. So that makes sense. And since being with you, Remy, she's not been raging anywhere near as much as she used to.
At which point
So
you got Flitty from Barnabas's shoulder. She had to stop being so much the ragey lady because she had to make sure that Remy lady's not barbarian ragey was being pointed at the right things. Right?
Something like that, Flitty, yeah.
Farada's just
Yeah, even giggles a bit.
Well, she hasn't.
So yeah, I mean,
No, that's true.
it just she's been changing already. Look, I'm just happy she's okay. That's all I care about, really. But looks over at legs. So
Was that clear to you, Legolas? Do I need to translate any of that?
she's still not gonna freeze without the furs.
That's correct.
She's still gonna be able to hit people real hard.
Yeah.
oh, wait, I can't. Sorry, brain fart.
There wasn't any consent. Was there any consent? Did you ask for consent?
He wants to know if he asked for consent. That's why he's looming some more.
He wasn't conscious even in the celestial realm. So Cereal said I had to choose on her behalf.
Looks at Remy. Can you make me a strength save, please?
No. Oh boy.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you get butt, not hard, not damaging, just you kind of go flying a couple of feet and boomf into a snowbank. Now we're even. He goes back and floops next to
You
Allison.
okay?
yeah, no, it's all good.
We'll
Bless
wait.
you.
We'll wait until Indira's done sneezing so that can be translated.
Wait.
Basically after butting Remy
Oh,
a couple
right.
of feet, now we're even, and then
He says now you're even.
That's good to hear.
dire moves are really direct, aren't they?
Apparently,
Dire Moose are really direct.
City.
But
Okay.
That was perfect.
wow, that was robot.
What?
You're still frozen. Oh, you're
Smeagol,
You're
you're
Dalek-ing.
hiccuping and roboting and
1 second. There
Wait.
it goes.
Yeah.
there it
Better?
goes.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a brief lag spike.
Yeah.
Anyway, clarity, hun, that was perfect.
Thank you, Clarity.
You're welcome. She gives Legolas a hug.
No.
Goes back to Hazel.
Thanks for that. I would have hated to stomp her. My rider would have been upset if I'd stomped her.
Good call.
Darwin keeps looking over at the pit, like worriedly.
Yeah,
Just,
trying to
I
be
know,
spirit.
I know we gotta wait another day, but
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Back off from the pit so that we're not grabbing range
But can we move
and
out?
set up the tent.
At which point, Flitty's like, if we can put the Alisay lady on the moose back, couldn't we stay in one of the rooms up there? They took, those rooms took moose weight.
Is it okay to move her though?
They moved her out here.
yeah, that's a thought. Guys, what if we, I mean, I know, Remy, you don't want to move Alisay or you want to move her as little as possible. I get that. But what if we, because Legs wouldn't mind, obviously, carrying Alisay, we go up into the inn and actually just use one of the rooms since, I mean, they took the weight. We've been up there before, so...
Yeah, that is probably for the best.
How far away is the inn from us?
You came right directly down from it after you got out of the... Basically, you came out of the city through the secret passage, out via the inn and down. You're basically right at your battlefield, which was right at the Gray's Inn building. You just need to go up a few stories.
Oh.
Yeah, so Darwin is literally pointing. That's literally right where it is.
That wouldn't be within 500 feet, would it? Probably not.
Depends on which floor.
Because I was thinking maybe to move her maybe a little bit less, you could dimension door her up there.
No, because you'd still wind up having to get her through. No, just
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Remy on Legs, and besides, I'm sure Legs is probably carried her. I mean, I know from the stories people sneak on horseback.
And Legolas for clarity. I'm gonna have to carry more than just her. When you all went and did the climbing, it didn't go very well. So I'm gonna have to make trips again.
He says that he recommends trips because it didn't go so well when he tried to carry a great lot of us.
Well, it didn't go well when...
Us climbing didn't go very well.
Yeah, climbing didn't really go... Thank you, Legs, you're right.
That's a good
That is
point.
also
That's
for
true.
the best.
Yeah, so let's do that then. I don't know what floor we want to be on, but that's my suggestion.
The higher the better, I'd say.
I would have thought that, yeah.
Legolas looks at y'all and looks at Clarity. I will pick. You probably want ones with sleeping places. And then grabs Clarity by the back of the armor.
Okay.
And is just waiting for people to dump weight on back.
Oh,
Well, Remy, Barnabas.
Gather up Alisay.
Oh, I was going to suggest Barnabas. Do you need help, Remy?
Probably because
No.
wings
No.
and height.
She'll try to say no, but
Is Barnabas going to help or not? Is the question.
Barnabas is going to help. Absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. We check these things. So, yeah, Remy is clearly trying to do the thing, and Barnabas is just, oh, for pity's sake.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Clarity, can you ask Legs how many people he can take?
How many people you want to take, Legless?
Looks at the effective. Well, the 8 of you, not you. The 8 of you, including the one in dangling from Snoot. Thinks about it for a moment and then nudges. We kind of with clarity, so it's kind of nudges Remy and Faraday. Boink, boink. And Alice is already up there, so clearly Faraday is just. I guess that means we're splitting up the biggers again. Okay. And a little bit of care gets on, and is anybody going to help Remy up? Because again, short.
Barnabas will just to help anyone who wants up.
Okay, and yeah, that's the all of you, and then whoop, up. And Faraday will help ease Alice off the saddle in a corridor that does have bedrooms. They're not huge, but you can probably fit like 2 or 3 of you in there. And there's, if you go to the one sort of at the end of the corridor, there's enough space with good solid flooring for Legolas to settle down once he's done the ferrying. And yeah, just puts Clarity down, and I will get your mate. Clump, clumpy.
Thanks.
Well, it doesn't really understand the concept of girlfriend. And yeah, looks at the rest of you, and because apparently like 5 of you is a bit much, so it's kind of nudges Barnabas, Hazel, and then grabs Rylan by the by the back of the coat. I will let you take 20 on this. And whoop, up you go.
All right.
Oi. Just looking over at Ava and just going, oi. Just with a look at his face, so can you believe this day we're having? Whee!
Certainly been a day.
Well, you're not there. They're down there still. But I can see that as an out of character thing, so yeah. And then just to deposits Rylan in front of a door that's not the one that Remy sort of put Alice on a bed in, and it sort of shakes the wings like, okay, you can get off now. And comes back for the 2 of you, and eventually you do find yourselves in a corridor with rooms. These are clearly not guest rooms. These are residence rooms, so they're not huge. But I think currently Alice's got Remy's got Alice kind of lying down on one of the beds, and a bit of a squish. All of you getting into that room, but the sort of wide spot at the end where Legolas is making his home is sort of big enough for people. Or you can just each separate into various rooms. Although, it's probably Hazel at around that point who's like, wait a minute, if we're up here, we better hope we find like a fireplace or a stove or something we can use, because otherwise how are we going to cook dinner?
I'm looking around and wondering, would there be enough space here to pitch the magic tent?
In this corridor, no.
I think we might need to find either a sizable enough room, a bigger corridor, or what is it? Let's see. You need either a big enough space with a fireplace that hasn't been consumed by frost, ice, and yikes. A big enough room for the tent.
Ah, hells! I didn't
Yeah.
think of. I was so concerned with making sure Alice stayed safe and making sure we stayed safe. I forgot about that. I'm sorry, Hazel.
It's fine. We can just adjust.
I will. Do we want to look around, Hazel? A little bit.
Yep.
You can try.
All right. I mean, obviously not straight too far, and to be honest, I'm practically leery of doors, given experiences recently.
Clarity.
But
Like me, Clarity, you, and Ava. Come on, let's go.
Okay,
Okay.
all of y'all make me a perception check. I'll
19.
Oh,
I'm going
17.
to hit myself with guidance.
okay. You're way too busy thinking about some of the things that got said to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think a D4 is going to help you very much, Hazel. Even
To a 10. It breaks even.
Oh no.
I didn't know Barnabas was even going with them, so you know. Apparently, he's not.
Yeah, no. We're just gonna forget
Probably
that.
not.
Yeah. I think he probably considers going, and then like doors. What I just went through with the doors, and I'm just gonna sit here for a while. But in all of that, it is Darwin who, to be fair, he knows a little bit of something about the servants' wing in any big manner. Ava was encouraged to stay away from that, and she was moderately you know, good at obeying that kind of thing, so she didn't really go into the servants' areas. Whereas Darwin was Darwin. And so he knew exactly what he was looking for. And while there's not a big enough room for the magical tent, they weren't. Servants don't use the big kitchen to cook their meals. Their hours are too erratic. You do find a small kitchen, potbelly stove, sort of little rack attachment if they wanted to do anything oven-wise. One of those little iceboxy contraptions. Doesn't seem to be in too bad nick, this place. It's basically a slightly upscale break room in your average office, just with an actual oven instead of the microwave we'd have to this day.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we go on down, and Darwin's looking like specifically looking like he's looking specifically for something, and if anybody asks, so he's like, I know what we need. I know what we need, and we finally come upon it. And it's like, there it is.
Yeah, you've basically every time you've seen the servants' kitchens, it's like there's always some kind of weird signage just to make it a bit more theirs, and you've got one bit of parchment that reads, "We cook better than them downstairs anyway," and the second one, "But not by much."
It's like, yeah,
In two different handwritings.
yeah. Where here goes, there it is, and then pointing, looks out, sees that, points at it, goes, yes, this is exactly what we're looking for.
And now opens the door onto a kitchen.
Servants' kitchen. It had to be around here somewhere because these are servants' rooms, so, or residents, or so.
Brilliant, Darwin.
Yeah. Beans a little.
Okay,
He
so
was just kind of, arm around the shoulder, like, yay, thank you.
so we know that Clarity, Hazel, Ava, and Darvin went searching. What did the rest of you do? Because Farida was very much, I'm gonna stake out a room, and I think pretty much everybody needs to have a bit of a think, and I don't know. Remy, are we going to want to be around when Alice wakes up, or do you want to make sure you have a moment alone first?
Yeah, that's probably for the best if we can find enough rooms for everyone.
Well, there's lots of rooms.
Yeah. I'll
And
grab
then,
one then.
yeah, well, Alice is already on the bed in one, so it's just turning
Yeah,
around to
sure.
Rylan and Barnabas and going, let's find other rooms.
Yeah.
Good
Give
plan.
you two the space.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're probably going to want two to a room, and at least that's mostly sorted out, but there's not a number of us. We'll see who wants to do what. It's okay. And yeah, we'll deal with this because it again put poor Remy out of her misery. You a little while later, while these two are checking out the kitchen amenities and Hazel's digging through, deciding what kind of meal goes with existential ennui. Yeah. Remy recognizes that Alice is about to wake up, mostly first by the wing twitching and just nothing hurts, but something's wrong.
Something's different. But you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, it sits up a little slowly because this is the kind of thing that main reason you're asked to rest is because there's got to be at least some exhaustion level to that kind of change. It sits up. Well, doesn't hurt, but
You still need to take it easy for a little bit.
okay, something's different.
Yes.
It feels weird.
I imagine so.
You're trying very hard not to answer
I'm
so you're dodging the not quite questions. So you're worried.
I am worried, but I'm trying not to dump everything on you within 30 seconds of you waking up from a ordeal.
Yeah, okay, but you remember that thing where not knowing a thing stresses me out more than having things dumped on me does?
Okay, so I communed with Zerial and he knit your soul back together.
Well, that sounds excessive.
The damage was excessive.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I gather you did.
Yes. In the celestial realm.
And winds up looking at a hand. Oh,
Things changed with when he did that. That not bad change, just different.
let me guess, because I kind of getting the feel of the Zeriel Remy dynamic right now. He told you a lot more than this, and you don't know how to tell me.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay. I know I'm not saying that to judge you. I'm saying that because I want you to understand that I get it, and this is a safe place to say a thing to me. A lot has changed. A lot always changes. What isn't going to change is that I love you, and I trust you, and there is very, very little you could say that would change that. Does that
I
help?
love you too. Yes. I guess
Good.
that helps.
Now, please ease my curiosity before it gnaws any further at my head.
He asked me to make a choice on your behalf because your soul was not conscious. And when he put you back together, he wasn't able to keep some of your abilities, and you've gained some new ones as part of that. He said it'd be similar to Froseth, that you have a core of wisdom and finesse, and
Instead of rage and winter.
yes. But he promised that you'll still be alright when you go back up north.
Well, at least kept that much.
He said it's called, what you have now is called the Way of the Sun Soul.
Well, that's apposite. Okay. Taps at one of the wings. I mean, personal growth and change is a thing. I think it normally happens a little more gradually than this.
I don't think we do anything the typical way.
No. Admittedly, I'm probably going to kind of miss the running at things and screaming. They're definitely going to miss being able to coat you guys with ice armor.
Oh, I'm not going to forget watching you run at things, screaming.
Well, maybe it just doesn't have to be screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of what Froseth got up to.
Oh, yeah. No doubt you're still going to be a very impressive combatant.
And, to be fair, most of the stuff I was using, the fancy moves that push people around the battlefield, was all swords bard related stuff anyway. So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's probably good that I'm tired when I'm hearing this, because I don't think that not having the rage thing is necessarily precluding me freaking out. Because, freaking out happens.
Likely.
But, yeah, okay. Is everybody else okay? Because, last I saw everybody, there was reliving the nightmare, and everybody was really kind of...
Ava and Clarity are pretty rattled. Everyone's rattled, but especially... Oh, and Hazel's... Oh, let's just say everybody's rattled.
I heard that. I just wondered if, in the meantime, there was maybe less rattling.
Well, apparently you started screaming, so... Not yet, but now that you're awake, that is a relief for everyone, especially Legolas.
Oh no, what did he do?
He headbutted me.
Hey, you got off lucky.
Yep, that is one way to look at it.
Well, with some people that displeased him, I've seen them take the back of their clothing or armor or whatever in their teeth and sort of fling and land it out in a snowdrift 8 yards away.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
That means he likes you really, but something had to be done to redress a balance. What kind of balance? What did you do? Oh, you did the taciturn thing, and he wanted answers.
Yeah, it's hard enough to explain it to you and to everyone, and then to Legolas. I know he is a very intelligent dire moose, but
Well, Clarity was probably really helpful with that, if not
Yes.
Darvin.
Yes, she was.
I figured it'd be Clarity who'd think of that first. Darvin tends to be more into letting you have a last conversation with Puffy before heading off to save the world.
Mm. Yeah. That was nice of him.
I wonder if he did that in the adventurer orphaned animal shelter in Igraf. Just to say that they are loved and that he's sure they'll find their forever person. He's a doofus, but he's a sweet doofus.
Yes, he has.
Okay, everybody's upset. I'm tired, but I'm no longer in pain, and I am not immobile.
Yes. So, we're all getting a bit better.
Yeah, I'm... You are going to let me get out of bed.
I suppose.
Yes, you are, because Hazel cooked the big magnificent breakfast, and everybody needs comfort food.
Mm,
I can generally do comfort food, and I'm a little less try-me about it than Hazel.
yes, yes. I'm not going to stop you from that.
But first, and smooch. Thank you. I'm not sure what choice I would have made if I'd been able to, but I don't know how well I would have coped if I'd had to deal with that forever.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Thanks. Gets up and on the various doors that you can hear sort of noises behind. Did anybody find a kitchen? You can probably hear that. She hasn't got any quieter.
Assuming that we're on the way back, having done so, I hear that. Hey, as a matter of fact, yeah.
Good. I'm cooking.
Okay, follow me, and he'll escort to the kitchen. And
I just figured if Hazel's rattled as she has every right to be, and she cooked breakfast, so I'm gonna make comfort food.
okay, on the one hand, I want to ask if you need an extra set of hands around. On the other hand, it's also kind of small in here, so I'm gonna.
And to be fair, if it was going to be anybody, I'd want Ava. First of all, she's smaller than you. And second of all, she's expressed an interest, and she's a great hand at chopping vegetables these days. Barnabas,
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
you remember that book of coupons that you got from Hazel for Oralmus?
Yes.
Consider that there is an extra one, and the extra one can be given to me. Can you describe one of your favorite Ravnican dishes?
Out of character, on the spot. Chicken dishes. Anybody have any suggestions for what would be good for Ravnica? Because it's all over the place.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's
isn't it?
very
Yeah.
Eastern European style in terms of naming conventions. So
Yeah.
anything, I would just suggest pierogi.
Yeah, that was honestly.
Yeah,
if we're going,
Yeah.
You beat me to it, considering whether the last three words of my last name,
There's a
SKI.
whole bunch of things I can list off that are Russian food that my mom throws
honestly,
together.
when you
Yes, because
said East European, my first thought was, and I don't know if you remember this, but Vysoka's restaurant, amazing Ukrainian food, and I miss it to this day.
vaguely,
So-
yes. But yes, we have Menzinsky and we have Baronov.
So it's basically kind of a dumpling. You fill it with whatever. It goes really well with sausage, and it's usually a comfort food back home.
Okay.
Out of character. Goddamn, now I really want some.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna.
You want some?
Yeah, that's the
Yogi,
thing. You guys
Pinky.
can I flag up the fact out of character that y'all want some. I can't have any. Wheat flour.
Oh,
All of that stuff is extremely gluteny.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
It might be. I could
Yeah.
probably find you a recipe that doesn't. But anyway.
It wouldn't work out as well. I know that the issues with replacing flours and with something like pierogi, it's doable, but the consistency would be
Consistency
so
would
off.
be weird.
Yeah, so off that it wouldn't be worth it. You can get away with onion rings with chickpea flour, but the gluten is the stickiness of it, and rice flour, etc., has a very different stickiness. I know because I keep
Yeah,
having to
even
wash
if you-
it off the saucepans, and it's anyway. Point
Yeah,
is, you've
anyway.
got Alice kind of digging through Hazel's bag of holding and thinking of the things, digging through her own as well. It's like, okay, Ava, you willing to assist?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, guys, settle in, try and be comforting, etc. Somebody please try to calm Remy down because I think she's in overprotective mode.
Darvin's going to just go wander off back in the direction of the rest of the rooms. And,
Yeah, be back here in about half an hour and I'll start handing out bowls.
And
Remy, roll perception to have overheard that.
Overheard which?
Being called that she's in overprotective mode.
No, you don't have to roll a perception check. She was not troubling herself to keep her voice down.
You have to let me take care of you in this situation. It's in the contract.
That was not in the vows. But you can take care of me after I'm done having dinner. And then leans over to Remy and very, very quietly, I need a word with Ava. And then it basically covers that with smooch.
Love you too.
Darvin's already wandering off, and as he's walking down the corridor, pulling out his the viol and just beginning to just do a little random
I see that
comforting tune, as it were.
I see that rooster bard from the
Yes,
Disney.
Robin. Yes. do, 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 do.
Yep.
I've had that stuck in my head for like the last 4
Yeah,
days.
but that was because of a hamster dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What? I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I'll tell you later.
yes, and when people have cleared off in their various directions, you've got, as Alice is making pierogi dough and filling and getting Ava to chop up things. I know that a lot of what happened with you guys in there was mostly shit that your mind or memory was pulling up. I'm not going to go into it because you're going to be eating your own head about it for, ever. But I'll say this. Whether Elfina / Ianthe or even your own head, doesn't matter. Full of shit. Full of it. 20 pounds of bullshit in a 10-pound bag. Yes, I will admit that sometimes you get a little singular about some things, but that's understandable. You haven't been very long in an environment where teamwork has been everything. You've been alone a long time. Believe me, I get it. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means you need practice. And, honestly, main reason that you're full of shit, that part of your brain anyway, the thing that you didn't consider at any point in there, it was talking about the me thing in the Elven Wild. I asked you not to.
That's true.
You actually listened to what I wanted. I mean, okay, yes, no, I did not want to be sent to the Shadowfell. No, I did not want to be turned icky, but I am not the kind of person who could put my life over an entire province. Not to mention what it would do to you on a number of levels. You know that. I would have been extremely angry with you if you would let that many people be a sacrifice for my life. It's hard enough with what Barnabas did, what Remy gave up. Well, the course Remy's life's taken, let's face it, Reese hasn't done too badly out of the whole thing. But Barnabas, I mean, I'm just saying, you haven't had a lot of practice at being a sister, partially because the first one you had wasn't. And I think you're doing pretty good. From my own limited experience of not having a lot of siblings. Plus, you have Dawn. You make a great big sister. Maybe that's the issue. You need little sisters. I can't be a little sister. I'm too old and too commonsensical. Sorry.
That means a lot.
Butt to the shoulder. I just, I know you have some things to think about, but you needed both sides of that argument. Because with everything we're doing, the last thing we need is that much self-doubt, self-hatred weighing on heads.
That's true.
So when your head tells you that shit, because it will, it always does. I know this. When it does, just remember that just because I don't rage scream at it doesn't mean I won't fight it if necessary. I'll just fight it faster. And slides some onion in her general direction.
I'll keep you, and I'll cover for you from a distance.
Always. And about a half an hour later, what you have is this poultry-ish smelling broth with pierogies in it. So it's almost like ramen bowl, but with pierogies instead of the ramen. And some various greens and things. She doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's made some very good pierogies. So it's sort of when you guys trot back for bowls, Barnabas first, and it does smell like the slightly more sit down street food.
Mm-hmm. You all seen the look of Barnabas, like, I will eat the absolute shit out of that. That's exactly where he is right now.
It's just I'm just gonna
You've given him flashbacks.
I'm just gonna put the spoon in there and stand back because I want to keep all my fingers. Thank you.
It's like that scene from Ratatouille where like the critic takes a bite of the ratatouille.
It's Hazel's I can see time look on a Minotaur. Yes.
That's that big face, that many miles.
I mean, to be fair, it's still got a slightly, Aombaki kind of character to it, but the dumplings have got pretty damn close to right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Yep, hands over.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, good. I got that right. I'm going to go take a seat now. Munch.
Irvin takes his bowl off to somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that the break room can probably fit a fair few people, even if they're slightly big. It's just that you wouldn't fit people helping, because it's kitchen and
Right.
a table where people can sit and eat things. So you can probably all fit in.
Yeah, pull up a chair then.
Actually, that's a thought. Yeah, sitting down is a little bit tricky because these are chairs, and Alice has wings. So it's sort of... Okay, I'm going to sit on the counter.
What about reversing the chair?
And then I have to lean over to eat my food. But it's a good thought.
Clarity's eating, but like sort of picking at it in that I don't have an appetite sort of way, but I know people are going to make me eat. So
To park myself next to Clarity and less enforce and more just occasionally nudge.
Nudge, consume. Nudge,
Just sort of that
consume.
whole cat behavior of I'm here, just we're good.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I take it you'll know that things are a little different now, as far as I go?
Yeah.
Yep.
Insofar as the fact that this has been another massive favor from the Divine, one more question I have to ask, and I'm not going to ask Ree because she's done enough of the announcing of the news. What did it cost?
Oh yeah. Well, I
Oh!
promised
We promised
Serial that
to-
after we liberate Black Crown, we have to immediately go to Anbir to help the Protector Asimar.
Looks at the wings. I'm going to end up doing one of those cons where somebody basically sneaks into prison as an inmate. I read Penny Dreadfuls too, you know.
We'll figure it out when we get to that point. But yeah, all of us are. I assumed there. Sorry, but I assume all of us are totally fine with that. I know I am.
Pardon me?
Paradise. Yeah.
We're on board with the plan for various reasons.
And Faraday just, not least of which because if it's that much of a hurry, big things are happening. Lots of big fights are going on. And maybe it's that he doesn't think that we can afford to have allies sitting locked up. Or
He
enforcing
did
the locking
say
up.
that they would be needed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be honest. The way that things are playing out, the fights and the battles and the things we're facing are literally just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So yes, we'll need help. So
May have to ask some pointed questions of Ward later. If anybody could get up across the cliffs if he needed to, the people could. But for right now, let's eat up.
yeah. Oh, and you've Remy, you didn't mention legs.
Legs has his wings for an extra day.
And here I thought you just managed to get... You got up here just so that when he did lose his wings, that it wouldn't be a problem to get back up. Because that would have been the other option, I think.
It was mostly to get away from the black mug.
It's fair. It's just that either one of those things, and I take it Legolas didn't care. I should go and check and make sure that Legs is okay, and rummages in bag, pulls out a bag of apple bonbons and just pad. Hey, Legs! Whoomph! Ow! Ow!
Legs.
Well, that's happening.
Yeah, and if you look out the kitchen window, Alice flat on her back getting licked by Moose. Legs
I'm gonna
still
go to my bag.
Legs still tired. Petting the snoot. It's okay, Hazel. It'll let me up in a minute, won't you, Legs? Just gets up and just hugs around the snoot. I can't do this when I'm on the floor.
No.
Anyway, food, sleep, and then we try this again, hopefully with a little less pocket dimension fucky. I don't think we could take that again. I get the feeling from what little I heard of that Petunia individual that it's got what it wants now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what it's got is people kind of angry, sad.
Something like that. Before going to sleep, Darvin's going to spend some time trying to see if he can't do up something resembling a sketch of the object.
We'll deal with
Yeah.
that next session because we're running late,
Right.
and I am kind of fragged. So next session we'll have Antheus back. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, Antheus, and we'll try that again once more, hopefully without quite so much feeling. See you in 2 weeks, guys.
See you in
See you
2
in 2
weeks.
weeks.